Good afternoon, everybody. We are back here in the backyard, popping down after the storm we had earlier. Have a look through the backyard. Just going to go and grab a My name's Jay and we are here in the backyard with Aussie Backyard Harvest, talking about the garden, talking about what we're here to harvest, and just a bit of an update, have a bit of a chat, see where we are up to with the growing. Love to hear what you guys have got to say, any tips or tricks for me to try out here. We're about to go into summer. It is nice and cool now. We had a storm earlier. I'm not sure if you guys were here. I popped on for a quick live so we could listen to the thunder and some of the rain. That's all finished up. Had a nice relaxing afternoon, so I thought I'd come back out for the sunset. Looking in at the bees, we have the Australian natives. They're quite lazy. Once it rains, they pack it up. They don't really come back out. You can see one of their little heads poking out there, but normally there is a whole big wall of them around the entrance, and that is a protective layer. Every time we get a storm or even just some heavy rain, they pack it up and they're basically done for the night. If we go around the corner, we have Australian, those were the Australian natives. Go around the corner and we have the European honeybees. These guys will fly through anything. The sun's already gone down over under the horizon. We finished the storm, but here they are back at it. That's why these guys make so much honey through the year compared to the Australian natives. These guys will get liters of honey from the Australian natives. You would at best get 1 liter a year. So the reason we have both of them is honey from these guys, and just to keep the Australian natives population strong and help with the pollination. We use the Australian natives as well. Come back down, we'll have a look through the garden. Welcome everybody, thank you for being here. Just doing an update of the garden this afternoon, having a bit of a chat. This is what we've got going on so far. Lots more coming. Lots of changes happening. Anything that you guys want to have a chat about, please pop it in the comments. I'm reading the comments and we'll have a chat with each other. Alright, so to begin with, we have pumpkin here at this end. This type of pumpkin is called an Australian blue. We haven't grown it before, but the plant's growing really nicely. Lots and lots of male flowers. Just waiting to find some female flowers that have been pollinated properly so we can start growing some pumpkins. Over behind it we have lemongrass in a pot. I grow that in a pot so it doesn't take over the garden. You could use it as a hedge or a border around your property if you had the room. For us it works best in a pot. Beside it, which is sort of not as easily noticeable now, but that's sweet potato. That's also in a pot. The reason that one's in a pot is for the ease of harvest. Once it's ready to harvest, which will be coming up to winter. We're only just about to go into summer now, so another 6 months. Or whenever the plant starts to die off, we will harvest those, make sure we like them, take some slips from the vines, which is how you propagate sweet potato, and replant them. So that plant there is new. It's just to make sure we like the variety and to be able to get some more ready to go for next season. As we go down here, we have lemon tree. Lemons are ripening really quickly now that we've warmed up in the weather. So we're pulling a couple of lemons off here a week, which is plenty for what we need at the moment. In amongst it, there is some herbs all over the garden. We've got parsley here. There's also a parsley plant down in here, which I forgot about with the corn. The corn, unfortunately, has been eaten by an animal. I'm guessing a rat. And once we go past here, we'll continue along. We have beetroot down the bottom, then some more citrus. The one at the front's an orange tree, the one at the back is a mandarin tree. We have one little orange growing. Currently smaller than a golf ball, I'd say 2 centimeters across. Beside that is a zucchini plant. A little one there, looks like it's been pollinated hopefully. That one there, let's see if I can get you guys to see that one. Not easily, not so much. Tomato plant, which is growing really well. It's time to put on a couple of new clips actually. I think I have one here. Basically, it's just clipped onto a trellis, which the trellis is just a piece of string. Just gonna bring a clip off. Sorry, you guys can't see it. It's a bit hard one-handed, to tell you the truth. I might do it a little bit later when I got both hands. What I'll do is I'll grab this here, pull it in against the string and clip it on. Once it reaches the top, which it's getting close to, we'll just lower the string down. We'll remove some of the leaf from the bottom. Sorry about the dogs next door, quite annoying. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. We've got some nice tomatoes on this plant growing, although there's also some leaves which I need to get rid of, some damaged leaves. So I'll spend a bit of time on this plant in coming days, get it all trimmed up, get it looking nice, ready for the fruit, hopefully get rid of some of the pests. There's some pests eating some of my tomatoes. Yeah, I might. But we would have still got a harvest out of it. We've got more tomato plants as well. So we'll continue down and have a look. We have cucumber plants across the back. We've been harvesting lots of cucumbers from those. See if there's any more in here. It's actually nice to be able to use. Thank you. It's going to be nice. It's actually quite nice to be able to use the phone to get in behind and have a look down the gaps, see if I can find cucumbers. There's actually a cucumber there growing behind the mesh, so I'll have to see if I can get that one out. But lots of new flowers. We've got a glut of cucumbers in the fridge at the moment. More herbs. We have parsley again. My daughter really loves parsley. Some thyme, and in under there is some garlic chives. You can see down there. Garlic chives are really nice to have. Some onions that were planted really late in the season. So they're quite small, but we're still harvesting them and eating them straight away. We'll get them planted earlier next time. Be able to grow full-size onions, cure them up a little bit and store them through the year. This is a leafy green area. Lots of these have gone to flower, which we're letting go to seed. We'll collect the seeds for the ones that we liked. See if that will focus. Not very well. The seeds that we like we'll keep and replant next season. It's a little bit messy, but it's not too bad at the moment. This one here is a capsicum plant. It's called Chinese Giant. Near the start of the season we had a big problem with pests on it, which we've half fixed. You can see some of the leaves are still getting eaten, but overall it's looking a lot nicer. There's currently there's flowers, so I'm sure the capsicums will be coming through again soon. I have another capsicum plant down a bit further, which is a different type, but is looking nice. So cucumbers lead over to a different tomato. This tomato is a bushing variety, so it doesn't grow up at all. This one has lots of tomatoes on it. Actually, there's one there which is starting to change. That's really interesting because that wasn't red yesterday. So keep an eye on that one. I'll pick it a bit early because we have been having pests eat the tomatoes. So we'll pick that one. We'll keep an eye on it, but within the next couple of days, let it finish ripening on the bench and finally get a harvest of tomatoes started. Strawberry plants, we're actually growing the strawberries just to get new plants for next season. Make sure that we like these ones. I do like the little strawberries, they're really tasty. Let's eat them straight from the vine. I'm just going to eat this one. Sorry guys, wait a minute. Yeah, it's good. Something else I've grown in a pot is mint. If you're thinking about growing mint, I would definitely do it in a pot. It dies back a little bit through the hot summer, but if you keep the water up to it, which we've been doing, you're still getting lots of new little sprouts. But what it does, let's see these ones here. They send an underground runner through the garden and they pop up all over the place. I planted originally mint down here, and before I realized it had gone the whole length and was popping up down here. It took us months and months every time it would pop up to pull it out, follow the roots to get it out of the garden. So if you're going to grow mint, definitely grow it in a pot. More strawberries up here. Just going to get some runners from them. We'll overwinter them and then we will plant them out before spring, I'd say, so late winter. Plant them out, get them nice and big. We have coriander. Coriander's gone to seed. Can't handle the hot weather here, so we'll wait for those to be ready. We'll collect all the seeds from this. You can use it as a spice. We will save them for next year. It was really nice. I liked this plant, so we will continue to grow that one. Some basil down in here. The basil plants are nice companion plants for the tomatoes. They keep away a few of the pests. They just grow really well together, so we keep them going. These ones down here are actually passion fruit, which we had passion fruit vine growing over the top of everything. Let me put you guys down. I'm just going to pull these out. These are a plant that's coming up that we don't want. So we'll just pull them out, we'll leave them on top. They'll die, decompose back in. Every few days we find some new ones coming through. There's lots of passion fruit buried in here. Some onions. These guys are really little. Well, they're not even really growing up. I tried to separate some of the onions from down the other end. Realized that they weren't growing as well, so just kept the other ones where they were. I'm planting these in. If they grow, awesome. If not, they get shedded out by other plants. That's also fine. This is a long, sweet yellow capsicum. The fruit's looking really nice down the bottom there. I'd say they're going to start ripening up very soon. And there's a lot more new little flowers coming as well. So that's going to be a nice one. This big one here is a king purple bean. It's actually 6 plants. I sowed them from seed where they are. If you haven't grown them and you like beans, it's definitely one to try. Grew super easily. Every seed I planted germinated. We get a big handful every day. So when they're little, they're still green. Then if you let them grow, like this one here is too big, it's not as nice to eat. But one's about, let me pop around the other side. I've harvested them already a couple of times. About that size is what I would say is really nice size. You can eat them raw. When you cook them, they turn back green, but raw purple, they're still really sweet. Super nice. I have a horsefly flying around my feet. Is why the camera keeps jumping around, it's biting me. Lots of this end of the garden's quite empty, but we are starting to plan it out. We have this little guy here is Egyptian spinach, and they planted it in there today. There's actually 2 there. I'll let them grow up and I will snip it down to 1 when they get bigger. Most of it's empty. Inside this little square here is ginger, which you can see the shoot has started. It's actually grown a chunk today. I wonder if it's to do with the heat and then the rain. That one's just a leaf from above a tree above us. And then down this end we have spaghetti squash. I'll grow the spaghetti squash up the trellis if I can. And over the side here is our passion fruit. Been beaten up a little bit. The end of last season I cut it all the way back to just the trunk. I wasn't even sure it was going to come back, but it has. So I've built this trellis here. I need to put some rope in there for it to grow up onto, but that's where I'm going to keep the passion fruit restrained to its time. I'm not going to let it grow up and over this garden. And then I'm just going to turn the bottom into a little bit of another garden bed. Get some cardboard in there, kill that grass. And I'm not sure what I'm going to plant in there yet, but there'll be something growing in there soon. I really appreciate the likes, guys, the comments. My name's Jay. This channel is called Aussie Backyard Harvest. We have lots of things coming up that's changing around our backyard. Thought we'd start up a YouTube channel and take you guys along for the ride. This area down here where the pumpkin and the compost is actually going to become a chicken coop. We have friends who breed chickens, so we will be grabbing our chickens from them. Israel Shorts, cool backyard, thank you very much. Yeah, I really like it here. We're in southeast Queensland, Australia. So basically the back fence is a garden and that's for food, and in the coming months as we work through it, all of the grass is going to get pulled up. It's going to be heaps more gardens, pots, in-ground gardens, raised garden beds, and then a nice entertainment area as well. So stick around over the coming months and you'll see us change it all up. It'll just be one little job at a time. We're just hobby gardeners, so we're not in a huge rush to get it done for any particular reason. Just as we get it done, we'll show you what we're doing. Have I thought about building a mini greenhouse? I've seen the mini greenhouses on racks. We have really mild winters here. I know lots of people use greenhouses to be able to plant their spring veggies out early, which I might give a go. I don't think I'd build a whole greenhouse, just that we don't need it here really. But I would probably get a little greenhouse rack, you know, the ones that just a few shelves with the greenhouse material around it, just keep the humidity up. Currently growing potatoes, carrots, chilies, cucumbers and beans. Whereabouts are you? It's a good selection. I'm guessing somewhere similar conditions to where we are, because we have sweet potatoes, we have carrots. Instead of chilies, we have capsicum, we have cucumber, and we have beans. So very similar growing at the moment. We still have lots more seedlings germinating now that are going to work through the summer. We have one called Cossack pineapple, which is not a pineapple at all. It's a low shrub which has fruit a bit like a gooseberry. I haven't tried it yet, but from what I've been told, it's really nice. So we've got that. It's germinated, just growing big enough to put into the garden. I'm germinating my sweet potatoes right now. It takes forever. Yeah, we just take the slip off the vines before we harvest, a couple of months before we harvest. Let them reroot. So when we harvest the sweet potatoes, we can just plant straight again. We can grow all year round. Forgot what I was up to with my conversation then. I don't know. So we have native bees, which are still getting the hang of pointing on the camera. This little box here, the hive's called an oath hive. It's an Australian type of hive for native bees. They're more for pollinators and just to have as pets. They do take a whole lot of time to make any amount of honey. Once a year, you'll probably only get about 1 litre of honey from those bees. We also have European honeybees around the corner for the honey that we do want to eat. They were a swarm we caught right at the start of spring. They've filled out the nucleus hive, which is a 5-frame beehive. I don't know if anyone here is into bees. We've moved them up into a full-size 10-frame brood box, which is where the queen bee lays the eggs. And we are just about to put on the first honey super on top. We're going to run 2 honey supers, half height, or maybe there's a size that's called ideal, maybe that size, just to make it a little bit lighter when they're full, be able to lift them on and off comfortably. And we're going to run 1 brood box for the eggs. So if you're interested in bees, or even if you just want to have a look in the hive and see what it looks like, hit the subscribe button. I'd say within the next week or so we'll do another update, go into the hive, have a look around, check for the queen and eggs, put on the first honey super, and get ready to start harvesting honey later in the year. The bees over there are working extremely fast. They've filled out about 4 frames in the last 2 weeks, completely full, and they've started filling them. Yeah, so I can't wait to harvest the honey from those guys. We used to have bees a long time ago, but we got rid of the stinging bees, like bees that could sting when we had little kids. I didn't want the kids, when they were too young to understand, to go over and hit the hive and get stung. So we got rid of the beehive, the honeybees, about 9 years ago. The kids now are old enough to understand, so we've got a swarm at the start of spring and they're going amazing. So it'll be this year, probably late, like December this year, that we'll be able to collect the first lot of honey from them. And we'll do a video on that. So if you want to see it, hit the subscribe button. If you want to continue along with any of our story, hit the subscribe button. Even if it's just an update, have a look at what plants are growing, what we're taking out of the garden that day. We're a small family here in southeast Queensland, Australia. Predominantly what we do on the channel is gardening and what we can harvest from our backyard. Most of it's focused on this garden at the moment, just because it's all together. We have other fruit and veggies around the property, which we've got some videos on. There's grapes, there's pineapples. We've got lots of brand new stuff germinated and growing in pots. Living life, Australia from Texas. Texas, you guys are heading into winter over there. How's the weather? Yeah, we are on the east coast of Australia, about halfway down, southeast Queensland. The sun has gone down over the horizon. Some nice colours in the sky. It is currently 6:44 p.m. We had quite an intense storm this afternoon, actually. It's getting chilly, not cold, but every year winter seems to get pushed back. Okay, well, for me, that would be great. I'm sure it's not great for the environment, but I do not like winter. I much prefer to be out here in the heat. Today we had a really hot day, which was for spring. It was a really hot day. We were at 37 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that works out to in Fahrenheit, but hot is the answer. Every time I listen back on these videos, I hear the birds in the background. I don't even notice them. Like, I just heard a bird then, but I don't even really notice the birds until after I've done the videos. So if you hear any birds, yell out and I'll see if I can recognize the sound and I'll tell you what they are. Some of the birds we have consistently in the area are kookaburras, kingfishers, butcherbirds, a bird called a pied currawong, magpies, crows. Some introduced ones. There's ones called Indian miners. They're a pest here, but really they're not too bad compared to the cane toads, which will be coming out shortly, I'm sure. We've had everything's still wet from the storm and the sun's going down. Cane toads here are a big problem. We will start to see them. The camera actually picking up the light here better than my eyes can, so I'm having a bit of a scan around the grass now to see if there's any toads out yet. There doesn't seem to be. JB enjoying nature said hi, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Whereabouts are you from? We're just having a chat about gardening, the backyard, the weather, Australia, where everyone's from. Just noticed so many likes, 9 likes, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. If you guys had an idea, what would be an idea that you'd like to see us do a short of? We generally do gardening videos, weather videos, videos on the bees. We also have composting worms that we breed for fishing. Do I have anything that I've harvested? Yeah, we're harvesting every day, just small amounts. So we are harvesting, what have we got? Passion fruit will be ready. The passion fruit won't be ready until winter. Spaghetti squash will be a few months away. Ginger, we've only just planted, so that will be growing for a long time. You can't see it, but there's a tiny little plant in here, which is Egyptian spinach, which is a leafy green that's meant to be able to grow here through the summer. So they shouldn't take too many weeks to get big enough to start harvesting. So we will be harvesting that. These are purple beans. We've been harvesting these, too many of them every day. Nope, threw that one on the ground. I can just reach up and grab one, and I've already harvested them today. So these are purple beans. They grow extremely well. If you like beans and you haven't had a go and they'll grow in your climate, I'd definitely give that a go. Not sure if you could hear that, nice and crunchy. We have been harvesting, that was cucumbers, not yet. Tomatoes we've been harvesting. heaps of the herbs. So that's there is coriander. I think in America you guys call it cilantro. Been eating the strawberries, picking the mint. They go nicely in the cocktails. Leafy greens. We were eating salads off the leafy greens for weeks and weeks and weeks. They've all gone to seed now, so we will let them grow, collect the seeds. Cucumbers, we have a pile of cucumbers in the fridge. Capsicums in there, they'll be a bit longer. We've been eating the onions. They were planted too late in the season, but they're little, so we've just been eating baby onions. We take them out every day for lunch. Bees are for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing bees. I'd say we'll do another good video on the bees next week. Yeah, it's currently it's Monday. Maybe later in the week. Actually, I might do it later in the week. Cilantro, we call it coriander. More of the herbs, parsley, thyme, garlic chives, we harvest them continuously. Tomatoes, we haven't got any of that plant yet. Zucchinis, not yet. Beetroot, we pick it almost every day. Mandarin and orange are not for a few more months. The corn we started to harvest and then it got attacked by an animal, I'm guessing rats. So they harvested it, but they've eaten all the cobs of corn. So that's going to get mulched down and put back into the garden. And then there's a lemon tree over here, which we're picking off that every couple of days. The lemongrass over in the back there, we take that when we need it. The sweet potatoes will be in winter, and the pumpkin will probably be the end of summer, maybe the start of winter, start of autumn for those. The camera really picks up the lights more, so just turned on the outside lights. Excuse me. But the camera definitely does a better job of picking it up than I can. $10 likes, that's amazing. We're still just a really new channel here. If you're interested in it, have a look around. Aussie Backyard, but I'm gonna have to head out. When do you do lives? Thanks for being here, Israel. I really appreciate the chat. I do a live around this time of the day. I'd say every 2 or 3 days. So maybe a little bit earlier normally, but generally around this time, maybe an hour ago, every 2 or 3 days. I'd love to see you be back next time I'm on. Hopefully you get a notification that I'm here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. I might actually, you go, good luck with your plants. I subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great day or night. I will see you next time. Guys, I might actually head off as well. It's getting a bit dark here for you to see, for me to get up close and have a look at anything in particular. So if you're interested in our backyard or the weather, hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate everybody being here. The comments, the likes, the subscriptions. You're all amazing. Feel free to leave some comments on any of our videos with some ideas, or even just to say hi. The channel's Aussie Backyard Harvest. My name's Jay, and this is my backyard. Hope you guys have a great day.